Next on Worcester News Tonight, community members outraged left wondering who will plow their roads this winter. Reaction from a meeting in Southbridge tonight. Plus, 2 off-duty firefighters to the rescue, how they helped save a man during last weekend's Patriots game. Good evening. Thanks for joining us. I'm Catherine Andrioli. Some residents of Southbridge are dreading tomorrow's potential snowfall after the town told them they couldn't plow their streets. Tonight, community members met with the DPW to raise their concerns. Residents met at the Southbridge Town Hall tonight with members of the DPW after a developer left nearly 50 homeowners high and dry in 2 neighborhoods, including Hunter's Ridge. The developer says he can't afford to plow their streets. The town says the roads are private and not up to code, and plowing could present Southbridge with a legal problem. With the nor'easter coming, residents are concerned what will happen without properly plowed roads.
Safety is the issue, is the #1 thing. I mean, especially with children going down, walking the sidewalks are going to be with ice and snow, and they have to walk out to the street. Granted that there's no lights up there either, so now you got the children walking in the streets.
There's all kinds of stuff that's not up to code up there.
Southbridge's town manager says in an emergency situation, they would send plows with emergency vehicles up to the neighborhoods. After a couple of mild days, the region is bracing for what could be a significant snowfall for some communities. It has highway superintendents and plow drivers gearing up this evening. In the calm before the storm, our Rosalind Flaherty spent the day with some of the people responsible for keeping area roadways clear in the winter storms.
Snow is expected to hit Thursday and across central Massachusetts. Cities and towns are making sure they are prepared.
The goal is always to be a little ahead of the game.
Kenny Pizzetti is the highway superintendent for Webster. He says some preparation has already begun Wednesday afternoon.
These trucks get a final run over from safety to lights to everything else.
Pizzetti says Webster will have around 24 vehicles out covering the roadways. He says Webster only uses de-icer to treat their roads.
This stuff is very modern now. The old stuff of sand and that stuff, that's gone. That doesn't exist.
VIP Landscaping takes care of residential and local businesses. Wednesday, they were stockpiling salt on their commercial properties.
Pre-treat all the accounts, that way if the temperature does drop, we can go in. It's easier to scrape up everything with it being pre-treated, and it keeps all the areas safe for everybody that's going in and out of the commercial places.
Worcester says their crews will begin early Thursday morning by spreading liquid pre-treatment on the roads.
And that will help melt the snow as it starts, but it will also help from getting ice pack at the end of the storm.
In the meantime, the people responsible for keeping streets clear, like Pizzetti, are keeping an eye on the forecast.
Prepare for the worst, hope for the least. And that's the best part of the whole thing.
Rosalind Flaherty, Worcester News Tonight.
And the declared winter parking ban in Worcester goes into effect at 11 a.m. Thursday. And if you're planning on enjoying the outdoors this winter and have your mind set on hiking, local outdoors expert says there are many things you need to consider before heading out on the trails. William White is an avid hiker and has climbed Mount Washington several times. The owner of New England Backpackers says many people forget to prepare properly before hiking, and even sometimes experienced hikers may have trouble dealing with the conditions Mother Nature may throw at them.
If I'm going to be on a strenuous hike, I want the weather on my side, #1, and #2, I'm prepared. I won't do even a short up and downer without 3 quarts of water, trail mix, and other things to eat. You know, you have to be aware of what you're doing, where you're going. Little things like compasses, things like that, you know, waterproof matches. If at any point you think that you're getting over your head, you are. Turn around and go back.
White says packing the proper supplies is important. He says even in the summer months, weather conditions can rapidly change at the top of a summit. It's important to prepare, and he says even taking a class from hiking experts before you can go can make a difference on the trails. A major delay for the state's new recreational marijuana law. Lawmakers voting to postpone several deadlines to open pot shops in Massachusetts. Lawmakers voted today to delay openings until at least July of 2018. We spoke with some residents in Worcester who told us their thoughts.
Good for the kids. It's like, you know, they will have some kind of access. They'll say, yeah, there's an option there, I can buy it.
It's going to give people good weed that's like from a facility that's like, has regulations and stuff, people that grow that are professional at that.
It would probably cause more of an issue if they're selling it after, growing it and selling it, kind of a second base instead of actual, a legalized store. I think it's something that can probably help the economy.
And people we spoke with say they feel there's a disconnect between lawmakers and voters. More than 1 million people in Massachusetts voted to legalize recreational marijuana. Residents are still allowed to possess up to 1 ounce and grow 10 plants in their home. And in the midst of fights breaking out in malls across the country, police say more officers are needed at area malls. Our Olivia Lemon explains.
Catherine, police in one central Massachusetts town are asking for more detail officers to be on duty at the local mall. Auburn police say only 1 detail officer was on duty at the Auburn Mall when a fight between multiple women broke out earlier this month. Police say they are working with mall management to have more paid detail officers at the mall at any given time.
Detail officers are paid by the mall, by Simon Properties, and they work. Recently, they've been working 4-hour blocks.
Auburn police say there has also been an increase in gang fights breaking out at the mall within the last year.
We've attended meetings all year at the Worcester Police Department trying to gain intelligence and stuff. I don't know that these incidents were necessarily, we had a few that were involved with gang members, but with the fights and the other things that have gone on, it's, there is a safety concern over there for us.
In a statement, the International Council of Shopping Centers says the top priority for the retail real estate industry is its responsibility to provide a safe and comfortable environment. We work diligently with federal, state, and local law enforcement officials on training and preparedness for such events. Auburn police say they are also working with mall management to get security cameras installed at the Auburn Mall. Catherine?
Thank you, Olivia. A judge has denied the defense's motion to dismiss some of the charges against the man prosecutors say hit and killed Trooper Thomas Clardy in March. 30-year-old David Nguenda is awaiting trial in Worcester Superior Court on multiple charges, including manslaughter and motor vehicle homicide. Trooper Clardy was conducting a traffic stop on the Mass Pike in Charlton when his cruiser was struck from behind. Prosecutors saying Nguenda was driving more than 80 miles per hour and was under the influence of marijuana when he hit Clardy's vehicle. The Worcester man accused of trying to gauge out a police officer's eye is found guilty Wednesday of assault battery on a police officer. A judge ordered Jones Appiah to be placed on probation for 1 year. Prosecutors say the 30-year-old attempted to drive into a construction zone in August. Worcester Police Officer Michael Ryder asked Appiah for his license. When he resisted, Officer Ryder told him he was going to be placed under arrest. Prosecutors say this is when Appiah became angry and began attacking the officer. Ryder suffered broken blood vessels in his eye and several cuts. The quick thinking of 2 off-duty firefighters from central Massachusetts may have saved the life of a fan at last weekend's Patriots game at Gillette Stadium. Our Andy Madison has more.
Got a little bit more experience.
Firefighters John Toomey and James Crocker were in their seats before kickoff of Saturday's Patriots game when they noticed something was wrong with a group sitting in front of them.
The gentleman's son was yelling out, Dad, wake up, what's wrong? And right away you could hear that. He was about 2 rows in front of us, a couple seats to the left.
It appeared the man was having a heart attack, so the 2 off-duty firefighters immediately rushed to help.
When we got to him, he did not have a pulse. That's when we picked him up out of the chair onto the floor, and once we determined he was pulseless, we started CPR.
Jimmy was busy doing the compressions for me. I was trying to talk to the son to keep him calm because he was obviously pretty upset, like anybody would be.
While someone went to get help.
Apply pads to patient's bare chest.
The duo was able to use an automatic external defibrillator on the man.
It's a lifesaver. AEDs are very important.
The 2 firefighters performed CPR, but it was so loud in the stadium they couldn't hear the device's directions. So instead, they used the stadium clock to help them count.
It was hard to hear the defib with all the music playing and giving us instructions, so we were able to use the clock to keep track of everything, and we were able to do 1 more shock, and we were able to get pulses back. It was at that time the ambulance crew from Fallon Ambulance showed up.
Toomey and Crocker say they got to their seats earlier than usual that day, and it was fortunate they did. Paramedics got the man to a hospital, and at halftime, Toomey and Crocker were told the man was alive and breathing.
For someone to survive going into cardiac arrest outside the hospital in the middle of a stadium, it's unbelievable. It's unheard of, especially the update we got where he was in very well conditioned, has already been discharged home. Once again, unbelievable.
The two firefighters downplayed the notion they saved the man's life, only saying they were relieved he survived.
Makes us feel great. I think we're both very, very proud of the outcome. Usually that's not the outcome when CPR is performed. So Christmas Eve, it's a great gift.
Andy Madison, Worcester News.